Welcome to Stardust Stereo. I'm Parker McPhinney. I'm your host. Today's the 4th of July, year 2024. I'm continuing with these short bursts of podcasts instead of the longer ones because I'm currently moving about. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the USA's solar return. That solar return is extremely revealing for the next 12 months for America. The few pointers that I want to mention today in this new birth chart that will be valid from July 4th until July 4th, 2025. We have both the moon and the sun in the 10th house, and actually every single planet except for Pluto is above the horizon. So all eyes are on America right now. And there's no doubt about it because of our election and last week's horrific debate that everybody's chattering about. The moon in this solar return is in Gemini. And that moon is moving toward a square to Neptune. That moon is in the 10th house, like I said, squared to Neptune. Confusion. Is President Biden going to step aside, step down? What's going to happen? If you've read the newspapers, they're all aflutter with, no, he's not stepping down. Well, I am here to tell you that once the money is pulled, yes, he will step down. And I do believe that this will happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. You cannot expect an entire nation to undo and tell themselves what they saw with their own eyes and heard with their own ears didn't in fact happen. Yes, we love President Biden and we wish well for him. And that was not a man that can lead our country anywhere but to the losing box. So, with that moon in Gemini square Neptune, the next couple of days are crucial and we will see change. Since the sun is also in the 10th house, it indicates that President Biden is still feeling like he's in charge, but he may come to the conclusion with the proper amount of money withdrawn from the DNC that it is in the country's best interest that he not run. The solar return chart has a Virgo rising. That means attention to details and perfecting our country to be the best we can be. Mercury is in Leo in the 11th house, which deals with groups and Congress. That Mercury has just finished an opposition to Pluto, which is in the 5th. So there's a lot of talking going back and forth, and y'all all know this if you've even got a whit of a brain. Our treaties are going to be changing. Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars are all in the 9th house in this solar return. So many alliances and changes with other cultures, other countries of most importance. I do believe that Vice President Harris, which is also represented by that Mercury, in this mundane chart, the sun represents the president, Mercury represents the vice president, so there's back and forth. Do we give the nomination to her? Do we just have an open convention? Your guess is as good as mine. Looking at this chart, there's not a very clear indicator of which way it can go. So I say that either or could happen. The moon in Gemini square Neptune means the public is very disillusioned. And I'd like to mention something that many pundits have not. The majority of Americans are now under, I think it's age 50 of the voting body. They are not going to vote for Biden. They are going to vote for somebody who is a person they can identify with. And the sooner that that is recognized by the powers that be, the better. I think many people are going to end up sitting out this election if they don't feel that they have a viable choice. And in my wildest dreams, I think it would be fabulous if both nominations were discarded and 2 new nominations were made, and this was a election that ran Harris against Haley. That would be far more exciting, far more in this era than what we are currently dealing with. Okay, since this is very short, I also want to mention that on July 5th, we have a new moon in Cancer. And that new moon is going to be a B12 shot for this country, because it does show a new attitude coming and being presented, new emotional awareness that this change is here upon us, and that change is only the constant in the universe, and that new moon will trine, it will trine Neptune in a wide way, but it will trine Saturn in a much closer degree, and that is just super excellent, because that will bring a stability. So the instability that we're having currently is short-lived, even though I do think it will be the summer of chaos. I still believe that there's the possibility that once we're on firm footing of what is exactly going to happen with this election, who's in the game and who's really got a potential to win, the country will begin to feel a little bit of, okay, here we go, let's put the show on the road. The other thing I want to say about that new moon for you on a personal level, it's at 14 degrees and 23 minutes arc. Solidify what brings you security, what brings you comfort. Look to your personal life and make choices and make strong everything that makes you feel safe. The other beautiful thing about this new moon is it's in a lovely relationship with Mars. And it's 5 degrees from a lovely sextile to Mars. Mars is in Taurus. Plant seeds for your future. Make your family strong. Don't look so much to the outside to bring your security. Look to the inside. Neptune is still retrograde. Go inside for that sense of comfort. Since this is just a short little blurb, that's all I'm going to say. I want to throw out a thank you to my patrons. You know who you are. If you want to become a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/ParkerMcP. Make your new moon wish map. And remember, you are made of stardust. So go shine.